locked in.
Look at what we have here, folks.
To the only show that matters.
The cream of the crop.
Duke loves wrestling.
And there is no one that does it better than
your host.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
The Duke.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Happy birthday, Boston Bad Boy!
Oh, Jesus.
Huh?
Couldn't we just let this go?
No, we had to do it.
I'm feeling old.
You are.
I gotta
old.
tell you.
Look at you. You got
falling apart here.
You got a little dippity-doo in your hair. You're wearing the Mr. Rogers sweater there.
Listen, this is coming from a guy wearing a sweater vest.
I still wear my sweater vest.
I think we're coming to the end of sweater weather, though.
Not me.
I know you
all
wear it in
year
July.
round, Jack. That's right. I do it.
You're a layers man.
I am a layers man.
You're a layers man.
I like to put an outfit together, cap and all.
There's something wrong with you.
But did you notice I'm wearing my brand new Nikes today?
Yeah, I don't know. The sneaks.
Yeah.
I go back and forth. I have one pair of sneakers. I know people who own like 100. My brother owns 100 pairs.
He's a
My
sneakerhead.
boss owns 100 pairs of sneakers because there's something wrong with him.
Yeah, yeah.
But I have the sneakers, and I should wear them because I have a bad ankle. I should wear the sneakers, more comfortable.
Sure.
Can't do it. I don't find any that look good on me.
You wear those stupid boat shoes, and you don't do the thing that I do, which is put the insoles in them, so you just look silly.
No, in the summertime when you're wearing shorts, you wear the boat shoes because you can just throw your shoes on and throw them off when
you
you're on
don't
the
wear
boat.
any socks?
No.
That's disgusting.
It's not disgusting.
It's disgusting.
No, because I have a plan. I have a system. You see, I buy new boat shoes in this fall, right? And then I can wear them with socks in the winter because you can't go no sock in the winter. Then summertime comes around, right? And you wear them, and they get disgusting after a while.
Sure.
But they get disgusting at the end of the summer. You toss them. Now you're back on your system for fall. You get a whole new pair.
First of all, I have shoes.
It's the best system.
I have shoes a decade old. That's number one.
Well, that's because you have no sense of style.
Okay.
And you're wearing stuff from the 90s, like your fanny pack. And so don't act like it's a good thing that you have clothes
I
from
got you
10
a
years
fanny
old.
pack for your birthday. Did you tell the fans?
No, because I threw it right away.
I got you the autographed picture of Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
The fanny pack and a pair of jorts that John Cena wears.
Let me just tell you,
never
you're
give up.
lucky I didn't put a little surprise in that fanny pack and mail it right back to you. Let me just
Set
put it that
on
way.
fire.
Yeah. Setting it on fire would have been your lucky day.
Welcome back to Duke Loves Wrestling, the show where we talk about everything pro wrestling and everything else.
Yeah.
That's right. I am the Duke. My illustrious co-host, the Boston Bad Boy, I'm Mike Pelosi, just celebrated a birthday.
You know what? I did celebrate a birthday, and in all honesty, none of the listeners of this show got me one damn thing. I didn't get, all my appreciation. They tell me how much they love me. Not one thing did I get. Not one birthday card. Not one night on the town with a couple of cute wrestling women. I got nothing. Nothing.
See? Shows you.
It shows me that the fan base of this show is completely out of their mind.
Wow.
If there is a fan base.
You call them subhumans.
Yeah,
why would they give you anything when you disrespect them every week?
It's called tough love.
Oh.
Do you understand? Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, that's what you're getting.
That's exactly
You're
right.
getting it right back in return.
Well, listen, I don't
get what you put in.
The difference is I really don't care about my birthday. It's one day. Here's the thing. It's one day a week that I may be disappointed, one day a year. They have to live with their disappointment 7 days a week.
You're so terrible.
And so that it's just...
Speaking of disappointment, I heard, and a little birdie told me,
boy.
that while you were on vacation celebrating your birthday,
Correct.
The Boston Bad Boys went to the nation's capital.
I did.
Washington, D.C.
Yep.
You stayed at an Airbnb.
I did.
And while strolling down the streets...
Oh, here we go. Don't get me started
You
now.
came upon your favorite place in the universe.
Yeah.
Popeyes Chicken.
That's right.
You
Absolutely.
love your Popeyes.
Now, here I am in a foreign town.
Yep. Washington, D.C.
A foreign town. Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
And just in a neighborhood, Airbnb, sort of not in the downtown, a little bit off, but close enough you can walk to where you want. A nice little spot. Nice little neighborhood, brownstone type houses. And I could look on the phone. There's a supermarket around the corner. Let's go grab a little something to have in the Airbnb, snacks. Maybe we stay in dinner, have a little, little prosciutto. Maybe we hang a little bottle of wine. We'll hang out. We go to the supermarket. As we're coming back from the supermarket, we take a different route back to the Airbnb. I come around a corner, and there, glowing like the goddess of my dreams, is the bright orange sign for Popeye's Fried Chicken.
Oh.
Exactly. Like there was a choir of angels.
Yes.
And I thought, it's meant to be.
See?
It's my birthday. We're in this strange town, and here it is.
And you're going to get
like
a
beacon of
two-piece and a
hope.
biscuit, right?
I said, listen, we got the prosciutto, we got the nice cheese, we got the couple of bottles of wine.
Yep.
Why not, while we're here, throw in a 4-piece with a biscuit maybe and a mashed potato? I don't know.
Hey.
French fry? Maybe a spicy fry?
Spicy fry.
No. I got denied.
Wow.
I said it's right there across the street.
And you were told no.
I was told, no, we have enough.
Are you kidding me?
No, we have enough.
So whose birthday was it? I want to know this.
Well, it was my birthday.
Oh, so you just allow things to
Well,
to
I got to
happen
tell
around
you,
like
there's
that?
a whole reevaluation of the situation.
Uh-oh.
This has caused a domino effect where how can I be in a situation where someone on my birthday could allow me to not have Popeye's fried chicken?
That's tough love. That is the definition of tough love right there.
That might be like you got to call like social services love. I think
Cruel and unusual punishment.
Yeah. I mean, what's next? Chain me to the radiator and leave me there? You know what I mean? Like, where does it go from there?
Black Snake Moan? That was that movie, right? Samuel L. Jackson, remember that? Oof.
That chick was so Christina Ricci. My God, in that movie.
Yeah, that was
never hotter. She
was
really,
interesting.
she just boom. She hit it, and that was it. She was out.
Wow. Well,
some actors and actresses, there's a moment where it's just
coming of age. They get it done.
They get it done, and then never again.
See?
But you know what? We should all hope we could hit a peak like that.
She's a very famous actress. Christina Ricci.
But
Stop
I think that she peaked for me.
Oh, for you. Well, thank goodness she doesn't even know who you are.
Much like Roman Reigns has no idea who you are.
That's the problem.
Thank you. We've come full circle.
You're so
Can we move this show on? Because as a birthday gift to me, I'd like to not have to be sitting here.
Well, we got a couple of gifts for you. We're going to start, later on in the show, our good friend, Roy Lucier, the super fan. He's going to tell us about a great weekend he had visiting the folks at New Japan Pro Wrestling. I mean, that's going to be pretty awesome. I know you're into that. Because Roy is really, really serious about his pro wrestling, especially Japanese pro wrestling. So.
Yeah, Roy has a certain interest level that not many people get to with their interest.
Well, he's an expert.
I mean, certain people get to that interest level. What comes to mind? Stamp collectors, serial killers.
Star Trek.
Stop it. Star Trek. People dress up like Star Trek. And go to, and then there's Roy with wrestling. So, I mean, everyone should have a hobby.
Yeah.
And
Roy has his. That's right. But you know something? I'm going to do something special for you this week.
Oh,
Boston.
Don't do me any favor. Every time I hear I'm going to do something special.
Since you complained that you didn't get a birthday present, I'm going to do something special here. Instead of our normal run the ropes,
you're going to let me go home.
No, we're gonna enhance that segment.
Okay.
Because I know that you like to have a guest, so you don't have to listen to me.
Well, every little bit helps. Let me tell you that.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break.
Yeah.
And then when we get back, our good friend from the #1 pro wrestling news website, Wrestling Inc., we're talking about the man, Raj Giri, is going to join us.
Hi, this is Earl Oliver from Solely Finish Wrestling.
This is Raj Giri with WrestlingInc.com.
This is Sean Reed, boxing writer and undercover low-key wrestling fan, and you're listening to Duke Loves Wrestling. Woo!
Hello?
There he is, the man of the hour.
How's it going, guys?
Very well, brother. How you doing there, Raj?
I'm doing good. It's a really busy time of year, but it's fun.
Well, this is your best time of year right here. We're talking about WrestleMania week. You know, the #1 website, Wrestling Inc. Of course, you're covering all the hottest news and what's going on there, right?
Absolutely. It's insane. I mean, it is the best time of the year, traffic-wise and business-wise, but sleep-wise, it's pretty bad.
So let me ask you a crazy question here, Raj, because I know you don't get this question often enough, but how does it feel to be #1? Because that's not an easy thing to do when you think about all of the websites, the pro wrestling news websites that are out there. New ones pop up every day. But you guys consistently maintain that top spot. The only company really that does anything is WWE outside of you, but that's not really the same category there because you focus primarily on the news. What's your secret and how does it feel?
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. You know, I don't think all that much about it. Like I don't go and check our rankings and stuff that often.
I do.
Duke checks his own rankings, and he's never been #1. So speak slowly when you talk to him about how it feels.
I'm writing this down.
Yeah, he's writing it down.
No, man. I mean, you know, for me, it's just always to make the site as user-friendly and fun. And, you know, we try not to take ourselves too seriously. It is pro wrestling. You know, you have weird stuff that happens all the time. So we just try to make it a fun experience for people, and I try to make it as user friendly and interesting, and I try to make it like what I would want as a fan when I go to a website. And now, so many sites have all this stuff flying at the screen when you go, and I just try to make it what I would want if I went to a site. So that's always been my main thing.
So I got to ask you, since you brought it up there, and I don't want to get you in trouble, so you don't have to name names unless you really want to. What's the craziest thing that's happened while you were trying to put together a story?
Let's see. Well, a lot of times you'll reach out to another party, they deny it, and then they come back with something about some other party, and then it turns into a big mess.
Well, you get stuck in the middle of a promo, essentially, right? I mean,
yeah, it's like they're kind of bringing you into their feud as opposed to like a real story with how it started. So that's actually happened a couple of times, and we talk to a lot of wrestlers. We do a lot of not just behind the scenes, but we do a lot of interviews and stuff. But we'll get told stuff, and you just got to sometimes take stuff that could be big news as a grain of salt, with a grain of salt until you can kind of verify it.
I mean, do you find yourself, is it hard not to become part of a storyline rather than reporting on it because you're only being told certain things? Like, I feel like that might be hard. You end up, how do you not just reprint what they want you to reprint?
Yeah, well, we usually try, if it's something big, we'll reach out to WWE or try to get some verification. We try not to do too many storyline spoilers because those change so much, and they change the day of. But stuff like injuries and things like that, are those are usually, it's not people with an ulterior motive that they'll report stuff like that or give us stuff like that. So. We'll report stuff like that. We'll report stuff from, guys like Dave Meltzer, who's been around forever, who's the most respected wrestling journalist out there, and make sure to always credit them and give them links to their subscription sites and, urge people to subscribe because it's a big community and we're not trying to just, act like we're the only ones, I guess. You know what I mean?
Sure, and one of the things that I respect most about you, Raj, and Wrestling Inc. is the fact that you guys, for the most part, stay away from the clickbait. I mean, your stuff is pretty accurate when you put it out there. So that means that, like you said, you've gone to your sources, you've double-checked, you made sure your stuff is clean, and that's pretty cool because not everyone can say that out there, unfortunately.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, again, we definitely will not just print anything. We most sites we won't touch, regardless of what they put. People send us news that some other site put, and if it looks like it's an unreliable source, we don't even touch it. So, and if it's something big, like when the Enzo Amore accusations came out, we waited a while before getting that up because we wanted to reach out to the police department, see if anything had happened, reach out to WWE, and it wasn't until we heard back from WWE that we put something up because those, stuff like that's really serious.
Wow.
And same with Roman Reigns with the steroid accusations. Until WWE got back to us, we didn't want to touch that because it was, someone from inside a jail that's making these claims. So. Sure.
I'll give you an exclusive scoop here, Raj, since we have you on the phone. You can put this on the front of Wrestling Inc.
Don't embarrass
tomorrow
yourself,
morning. This will be a top story for the weekend here. Roman Reigns is nothing but a pumped-up, overstuffed punk from the gym who needs to get rid of the contract and get out of my life.
You're not a fan?
Well, he's my arch nemesis, just so you know, Raj. And that was a Ric Flair promo that I repackaged because Flair's my hero.
This brings up a good question from me, Raj. When you said, you guys try and verify the hell out of the stuff that you put up there. How flooded is your inbox by people like Duke who are completely delusional and think that they have personal relationships with wrestlers that are just like, do people send you stuff that's just completely wacko?
Oh, yeah. All the time.
I mean, other than this show.
I mean, daily. We get stuff like, just stuff that's so out there. Like we saw Hulk Hogan. He's eating dinner with Vince McMahon. Stuff like that. Right. You just get all the time. It's like, whatever, man.
Yeah, could be your competitors trying to throw you off, man. That's another thing,
Right. It's like you send a photo with the timestamp, then we can talk. But otherwise, I'm deleting this email.
Wow. We're talking to Raj Giri of Wrestling Inc., the #1 wrestling news website in the world. So, Raj, like we said, we have WrestleMania coming up, and before WrestleMania, we have NXT Takeover. Give us your rundown here. I mean, I don't know if you want to go over every single match, but what are some of the things that folks should look out for, starting with Takeover? What do you think is going to be the big match of the night, the match of the year candidate, possibly, because that's usually what happens with these takeovers?
I think it'll be Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. I mean, I think that's going to be super heated. I think fans have been waiting for it. You know, I think every match on the show looks like it could be spectacular. Andrade Cien Almas has really come into his own. Aleister Black is phenomenal. So that's going to be a hell of a main event. I think that NXT North American Championship, the guys involved, you know, EC3 right off the bat, coming in with a bunch of hype. Adam Cole, who's been great. Ricochet, Velveteen Dream, who I think is a breakout star. Lars Sullivan, Killian Dane. I mean, it's going to be awesome. I'm going only from Thursday to Saturday because it's so crazy on the site on Sundays, and I really hate that they moved the NXT shows to Saturday nights because it used to be Fridays.
Sure.
With the Hall of Fame on Saturday, so and now I can't make it, but I'm really looking forward to this. I think it might be the show of the weekend in terms of crowd response, everything, because there's a ton of shows going on that weekend. Absolutely,
and you brought up a great name there, Velveteen Dream. How long before we see him as the NXT champion?
Oh man, the way he's progressing, I wouldn't be surprised if it's by the end of the year. More likely by next year. I think maybe next year's Takeover, he's in the title match, wins it, defends for a while, and then moves to the main roster. But the kid's young. He has all the potential in the world. I think he's going to be huge.
Absolutely. When you have a guy, a breakout star like that, who's still young and still has so much more to learn, despite the fact that they're doing so well, do you agree with the concept of a slow build and wait until a big event like a WrestleMania before you put the title on them? Or do you just fast-track it and get that title on right away while they're still hot?
I think you wait. I think fast-tracking, you see what happened with Jinder Mahal, right? Like they just took him from being an enhancement talent to champion, and no one really bought it. I think if they went where he is now, if they just kind of moved him up slowly, I think then fans would have bought it a lot more when he finally got the main event push. So I think fans resent it when people get shot up too quickly and they don't buy it, and it ends up hurting the talent right off the bat. You know, Steve Austin, from when he started getting over to when he won the title, it was like almost 2 years.
Absolutely.
So and look at how well that turned out. So I think you want to make a superstar, you don't blow your what's a PG PG phrase.
Load is okay. You can say load. It's fine.
You don't blow your load.
That too. Yeah. That too. So moving on to WrestleMania, because we know that's the granddaddy of them all. First and foremost, John Cena. Is this the closest we're going to get to a modern heel John Cena?
I don't know. I think the build to this match has just been confusing. It's like fans haven't been buying it. You got two of these gigantic names, and this is about as bad as a build I think you could do for it. Like, all you'd have to do is just show video packages of Cena and Undertaker and show what legends they are, and that would have been way better than what they're doing. So I don't know if Cena's really acting heelish. I think he looks kind of silly when he's imitating Undertaker. It's hard to take it seriously.
How do you tell when he's acting silly all the rest of the time? That's what I can't figure out. How do you tell the difference?
Well, like the stuff he was doing with The Rock, you could tell like there was real animosity there. Fans got into it. So I think there's a time and a place. When Cena was feuding with Dean Ambrose, even with AJ Styles, there was enough believability that you didn't think he was just going through the motions.
Well, I think with Cena and The Rock, I think there is real animosity there because Cena will never have the movie career that The Rock has.
Would you stop?
No, honestly. No, this is real. And I think Raj will have to agree with me that his movie career has had these weird fits and starts. Meanwhile, The Rock was the highest paid actor in Hollywood last year. So I could see there being real animosity there, which lends to a real believable feud.
Yeah, and not just that, but the stuff that Cena was giving him crap for back then is what he's doing now.
Right.
Like he used to always rip on The Rock for leaving for Hollywood and being a part-timer, and here we are. And he comes out and says he regrets it. But you look at, as far as The Rock and his career, no one can really get there.
Listen, if The Rock can get there,
ever going to get to that level.
we can get there. That's how I look at it.
That's right.
If a guy who wore a fanny pack, much like my friend Duke, could get there, could become the highest paid actor in Hollywood, there's hope for any of us, Raj. Any of us.
Anything's possible.
That's right.
That's right. That's right. Raj, talk to us about the women's matches. You have Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax, which I think they were a little late as far as putting this feud together. They could have pulled the trigger on that a little sooner in order to give a longer build. But then you have Sasha and Bayley, who have this feud going on despite the fact that there's no championship there. And then you have Asuka and you have Charlotte. So out of those matches, which one do you think is going to steal the show for the ladies?
Well, Sasha and Bayley isn't happening. They're in the Battle Royal, the Women's Battle Royal.
Oh, they went the other way. I was hoping that was going to be a singles match.
I was too, but I think they kind of did a breakup already last Monday on Raw.
Yep.
But I think there's going to be, I think one of them wins the Battle Royal, throws the other one out, and then there's a vicious beatdown after that. But I think that Battle Royal is going to be used to kind of really set that feud, get that feud hot, and then at the next pay-per-view they have a singles match. But yeah, there's already 14 matches on this show, and it's stacked. I mean, you look at this card, and it's the build. I feel like hasn't matched just really how good these matches are that they got set up.
Sure. So which women's match do you think is going to be the top one of the night?
I think Charlotte and Asuka should be. I feel like the build has been really weak for that, considering who Charlotte Flair is, her credentials, and then Asuka with this streak. But it's kind of just been in the background. Like they haven't really focused on it. Charlotte's losing to Natalya on SmackDown for no reason. So I think that'll be the better match, but I feel like the build for Alexa Bliss and Nia has been fans have been connecting with it more. They're really on Nia Jax's side. Alexa Bliss has been playing that cheerleader bully great. So I think fans might be more into that match than Charlotte and Asuka. And 2 months ago, I don't think anyone would have thought that.
Just remember, Raj, the last time you were on the show, I told you Alexa Bliss was my MVP. She is, despite the fact that she's 5 feet of fury, she wrestles big. She she plays the heel big. You forget how tiny this young lady is just based on that mouth of hers.
That's how Randy Savage was back in the day in WWF. He wrestled big, so no matter who they put him in with, it never looked unbelievable because he had that larger. He really carried himself like he belonged, and then the size didn't matter with guys like that, or Ted DiBiase, back in the day. And Alexa, exactly. It doesn't seem like a mismatch or ridiculous. Like if he had the Miz against Braun Strowman or something like that, it would.
Switching gears here, is this Ronda Rousey experiment going to pay off?
Man, I don't know. I think there is some curiosity for it. I think they're building it. The problem is they're building it like that's the only match on the show, that and Reigns and Lesnar. When they got a stacked card, I feel like Nakamura versus AJ has been kind of, had a underwhelming build. And this Rousey and Kurt Angle, I think if you ask wrestling fans what match they're most excited about on the show, I think 80% of them would say something else other than Rousey and Kurt versus Stephanie and Triple H, maybe more. But anyway, I think Rousey, so far she's been doing well. Some of her stuff looks sloppy, like with Sonya Deville on Raw, but the fans have been into her, and I'm sure they'll turn on her at some point. That's just how wrestling fans get when someone's pushed really hard. And I'm guessing that they probably have a backup plan to turn her heel. So we'll have to see. Some people take to wrestling really quick. I mean, Kurt Angle's a perfect example. Ronda, she's going to have to learn fast because she's not going to have all this time, developmental like Kurt did.
True. Very true. Very true. Now, you brought it up. So we got Lesnar and we have Roman Reigns. And WWE has done everything in their power to try to turn Roman Reigns into a more sympathetic figure. Who walks out the champion at the end of the night?
Reigns is walking out for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
You sound pretty confident about that.
That's been like the plan for a year. this match was planned before last year's WrestleMania with the idea of Reigns beating Lesnar for the title. Even with all the steroid controversy and all this other stuff there, you still think they go with Roman Reigns beating Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania? Yeah, that steroid controversy turned out to be nothing. And, you know, that guy, he'd been saying for weeks that he had all this evidence, not just on Reigns, but 15 other WWE stars, is what he said, like past and present, came up with absolutely nothing. Whether or not it really is true and there is evidence somewhere remains to be seen, but that guy's credibility was kind of shot. So, I don't think that should be any reason for them not to. Good stuff. Good stuff. Raj, I mean, you know, you cover things so well, and this is the reason why you have the #1 pro wrestling news website in the world. If fans want to tap into what you have going on, especially during WrestleMania week, let everybody know what that website is and how they can reach it. WrestlingInc.com. That's WrestlingInc.com. We got tons of interviews. We got flashback interviews that I did with Bill Goldberg and Kurt Angle after last year's WrestleMania. We got stuff with Jeff Jarrett, who's being inducted in this year's Hall of Fame. Shane Strickland is great up-and-coming talent. I did an interview with recently. Jimmy Hart. Just tons of interviews that we got going up, as well as just tons of news. There's the amount of media these guys do, and all the stuff that all these media outlets are sending us to post. It's almost overwhelming. So we really have to like filter through it, because a lot of it is, you know, repeats. But man, it's going to be insane. And if you're in New Orleans Thursday to Saturday, I'll be out there. I'll be wearing my Wrestling Inc. shirt. My wife will be with me. So, you know, say hi, and it's always fun, you know, meeting other wrestling fans, because none of my friends out here watch it. So it's always great talking wrestling with other people. Raj Giri proving once more that wrestling fans can have wives and girlfriends. So there's hope out there for you. Like The Rock and becoming a movie star, you too, wrestling fan, can meet a significant other. There you go.
This is former WWE superstar Al Snow and magician to the blind. You're listening to Duke Loves Rasslin.
Duke Bennett.
That's right, brother Roy Lucier, the super fan.
How's it going, buddy?
Man, it's going great. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing amazing, man. One of the best weekends of my life.
See? Now, I knew that you had a special report for us, because you had a heck of a weekend that you just had, and I figured, you know what?
I think he's still having it. It's Thursday, and I think he's still having this weekend. That's what I'm worried about.
I figured instead of doing a normal, quote-unquote, Ask Duke, we're going to ask Roy. What did you do this weekend that was so special? Let all the fans know what happened there.
Okay. And please don't think in any way, shape, or form I'm trying to toot my own horn here. Experiences like this, honestly, are possible for really almost anybody. You know, it's just there was a little bit of luck involved here and stuff like that. But what happened was when they first announced that New Japan was going to be running in Long Beach 4 or 5 months ago, we got our tickets for the show, me, my wife, my son. We got the hotel. And I grew up near Long Beach, one city over in Garden Grove, so I knew the area pretty well. The day before the show started, one of the talent on the show, Davey Boy Smith Jr., messaged me and said, hey, this is the hotel we're going to be at if you want to come pick me up, and, you know, we'll go around the town and stuff like that. I noticed it was the exact same hotel that me, Michelle, me, my wife, and my son were staying at, so I was like, oh, my God, did I luck out or what? So we took the drive down there on Friday, got there around 6 o'clock, and in the lobby already was Tiger Hattori and Rocky Romero. Got my wife gave me the car. I went to go pick up the Killer Elite Squad over at the UFC gym in Long Beach, helped them film a video preparing for their match on Sunday, and then dropped Lance off at the hotel, and me and Harry went out to dinner with my wife and son. Then we went out on the town and stuff like that, went out clubbing, walking on the pier, hanging out, and first time we ever met. So, you know, just talking about wrestling, talking about who was better, Terrence Trent D'Arby versus Lenny Kravitz. I mean,
oh my God,
you know, everything that you can think of.
You know, Roy, I don't want to interrupt you here, but I just got to say, I didn't think it would be possible to have a more uneventful night out than going out with Duke. But talking about Terrence Trent D'Arby
Lenny Kravitz.
and Lenny Kravitz, you might have just crossed the line there for me, brother. You had me with hanging out with the wrestlers. I don't know.
You were having that conversation with Davey Boy Smith's son?
Yep. Harry Smith, Davey Boy Smith Jr. Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah. So, came back Saturday, came back late Friday night around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, something like that. And I'm not a drinker, so, Harry's having his drinks and, I'm drinking Red Bull because the hotel comped us a bunch of drink tickets for a local club. But, I haven't had a drink in a few years, so I was drinking Red Bull the whole time.
Oh, Jesus.
I came back, couldn't go to sleep until 2:30, 3 o'clock.
You think?
And yeah. So,
you're scaring me, Roy. You're scaring me. I don't know where this story's going to go. You're all hopped up on Red Bull. It's 2 in the morning.
He's about to make it happen,
Yeah,
Jack.
I guess so.
That's right.
So the next morning, New Japan had an announcement in the lobby that said if any of the talent want breakfast, it'll be served 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. in the little room across the way. So I figured, hey, let's check this out. So I wake up around. I think I woke up at 4 and stayed up the whole time. I think I got an hour or two of sleep. So I went down to the thing and, oh, geez, it was Tanahashi, Suzuki, Jado came up to me and introduced himself to me and stuff. Jushin Liger was down there. Lance Archer was down there. Juice Robinson was down there. There's a ton of talent, having breakfast and stuff like that.
So who's who of New Japan Pro Wrestling? You got to meet them all.
Yeah. So we, I pretty much, I had breakfast with Lance Archer. He was, kind of giving me some pointers and stuff like that as far as lines to cross, lines not to cross and stuff like that. Obviously, we're in an eating situation. If I want a photo with someone, please, obviously the 3 no's, no kids, no eating, and there was another big rule or something like that. Don't ever ask for a photo or editing in those situations, which, You got
to remember number 3 though. You gave us 2. What is the third one? You're going to get someone in trouble. And I hope it's Duke.
I'm writing this down. I'm writing this down.
I don't want you to get in trouble, Roy. You were getting some important information at breakfast.
Yeah. It was no kids, no eating, maybe no checking into the hotel, something along those lines.
No touching, no tasting, no telling. Is that how it works?
Yeah. So did that, sat in the lobby for a little bit. I remember, basically Kevin Kelly and Kota Ibushi were having breakfast together, and obviously Ibushi is not easy to meet. He doesn't do meet and greets and stuff like that.
Well, he's a pretty shy guy, right? Ibushi.
Very. So I waited. I think honestly they came in there at 7:30 and left at 9. I actually waited in there and I just snacked on oranges and muffins and stuff like that until they left. And Kevin Kelly was fully aware of who I was because over the past month or so I've been in communications with them that myself and a couple people were going to be running a fundraiser for Yoshihiro Takayama. Now, similar to the one that Gaijin Eric ran in where he went over to Japan and handed nearly $8,000 over to Minoru Suzuki, we started a fundraiser where we were going to have an event after the New Japan show in Long Beach at the Congregation. We did that, and I'll get more into that later. But Kevin Kelly introduced me to a few of the talent and stuff like that, and introduced me to Ibushi and a couple other guys, and that's where I got the photo and all that.
I'm curious how you fit all of this on the paperwork for the restraining order. That's what when you had to respond because these guys were getting, these big dudes were getting a little afraid. I'm just wondering.
I went down into the lobby for a little bit. We left for the dojo a little bit early. I had a ticket for that New Japan Dojo event that was on Saturday from 12 to 6. I left around 10 o'clock, and one of the things I'll never forget is as we're leaving the dojo event, Hiroshi Tanahashi had a suitcase and was just standing in the parking lot. It's like, hey, you need a ride? And he's like, yeah, sure. So, we were like, hey, come on, we'll give you a ride. We're going to the dojo. And he's like, oh, I have to wait till 11 to get there, and it was only 10. So
wait, you had to wait till 11 to get there?
He had to wait till 11 to get there for some reason. He wasn't allowed to get there early.
Tanahashi has restrictions on when he can go to the New Japan dojo?
I have no clue.
Maybe they had to do a lot of prep work before he showed up there.
You
they wanted to make
hair.
sure
His hair is all feathered and what have you, so that's a big deal.
There's a lot to go on. They just wanted to make sure he had plenty of time to get the hair going.
That's right.
Got to the dojo event, I'd say about like 10:30 or so. Doors didn't open until noon, but the dojo event was extremely limited. I think 150 to 200 tickets went on sale, and not a ticket more. The fire codes, it was actually a really small building. So you had room for about 50 employees, 200 fans, and fire code couldn't have been like anything more than that. So it was a very small and intimate, not arena, but gym in order to hold that. Got to meet a lot of the wrestlers, well, all the wrestlers, and they had a few matches. They had some press conferences, and get to run across a lot of people that either you have talked to on Facebook or on the internet that you've never met personally, or you run across people that you haven't seen in, 15, 10, 20, 25 years, and catch up on a lot of old times and stuff. So,
well, I don't want to get you in trouble here, Roy, but tell us, out of the whole weekend, what or who was the one person that you were the most proudest to spend time with? Literally, it doesn't have to be somebody that you've met before, or it could be somebody you met before, but who was the top of the top for you for the weekend?
Probably the Suzuki moment. We ended up raising $900 for Yoshihiro Takayama because Harry Smith, Davey Boy Smith Jr. is in Suzuki-gun with Suzuki. And Suzuki used to be former All Japan Tag Team champions with Takayama. And me and Suzuki and Davey Boy had talked about this a couple days before. The plan was to do the fundraiser, and the original plan was just to hand the money off to Eric, and Eric would go to Japan and give it to Suzuki at Piledriver. But when I told Harry about what we were planning, Harry goes, well, wouldn't you rather just give it to him directly here? So, this is like 3 days before the event that, everything changed from handing off the money to someone to go to Japan to we personally get to hand the money off to Suzuki ourselves.
Wow.
So,
yeah, and folks, we'll put up the picture on the Duke Loves Wrestling Facebook and Twitter pages there so you can see. Roy, it was a tremendous honor. There you have Suzuki, and you're handing off money for his former tag team partner there, which... why were you doing the fundraiser real quick, Roy? What was the point of that?
Myself, Randy Harrison, Dale Stepp. Basically, we contacted a few people like Brian Alvarez, Gaijin Collectibles. I don't want to leave anyone out here. Damon McDonald from Procast and stuff like that. And they donated things for us to give away at the giveaway fundraiser at Congregation. So that there we raised a nice chunk and $900 and all that stuff.
But what was the point of raising the money? Why? Who needed the money and why?
Yoshihiro Takayama, May of last year. If you look up, he has probably the greatest MMA fight in history against Don Fry. It's Dragon Ball Z level where they're punching each other in the face, back and forth for a good minute and a half, no slowing down. And if you ever get a chance to watch that fight, please do, because it's unbelievable. Like, both of his eyes shut, and he's still like throwing punches, and it's a different atmosphere, or it's a different culture in Japan where if that fight had taken place here in the States, the referee would have shut it down. But in Japan, it's like they let them go, and it's definitely one of the greatest moments in MMA history. Takayama is also a pro wrestler. So he had been freelancing for about 20 years or so, UWFI, All Japan, New Japan, every federation out there. He was on a little spot show on DDT, the promotion, in May of last year. Being 6'3", 6'4", he went for a sunset flip on someone that was 5'10", and he came down on his neck and became a quadriplegic because of it.
Wow. So you guys raised money just to help this guy out.
Yes.
What a tremendous thing to do, especially considering the fact that you're just a wrestling fan. You're just a guy who grew up watching these superheroes, these larger than life characters, And here you are banding together with other fans and other people in the business and putting money together for someone who literally is paralyzed. That's tremendous, Roy.
I just wanted to do my part. I mean, I have watched that fight so many times. You know, my wife, by the way, was the one that came down to the lobby and took the photos and stuff like that. It was amazing to think about this. I called her. She came down to the lobby. She was taking the photos, and Suzuki handed her his phone to take photos because Suzuki wanted to post it on Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that.
Wow.
So if you ever go on Minoru Suzuki's Twitter over the weekend, those photos, like that smile on his face, it's like Suzuki has a legitimate aura about him. Yeah, go ahead. Suzuki's got a legitimate aura about him. I mean, he literally, if he wasn't, a pro wrestler or, an MMA fighter or something like that, the dude would probably be in prison for mass murder.
Yeah. There it is.
He's the one wrestler that you, back off of.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
scary dude.
Tried to approach him in the lobby. All the wrestlers were accessible, except for one. Suzuki. Like, if he was in the lobby a little bit, if any of the fans tried to come up to him and try to get his autograph or a picture or something like that, there was a couple ladies with him that would politely ask you, please not at this time or whatever. And, everyone was obviously very respectful of that. This is, Suzuki, when he brought the money and all that stuff, God, the smile on his face.
And as scary as he is, his smile is awesome. That dude has a smile that would light up a whole room. Listen, Roy, you're one my go-to guy when it comes to Japanese wrestling, both modern day and historically. I know that I can ask you a question or tag you in a post online, and you generally know the answer or pretty damn near close. So let me ask you a question here, because WrestleMania is coming up next week, right?
Uh-huh.
And one of the main matches is AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura, which is a match that happened once in a lifetime in New Japan Pro Wrestling before.
Yep.
What is the significance of this match, and who's your pick to win it?
Personally, I'm going to go with Nakamura, just getting that big moment. There's been detractors that have believed that Nakamura really hasn't had a chance to shine since he's been with WWE. There was that Sami Zayn match when he first started that was, back and forth. And there are some people that want to say that Nakamura has a penchant for calling the match in. He'll do his 4 or 5 famous spots that we all know and be on the defense 90% of the match. I think this is where we're going to start seeing a different side of Nakamura. I think we're going to get a match even better than the Wrestle Kingdom match. I'm not the type to compare the two, Wrestle Kingdom versus WrestleMania. Both are great for their own what they stand for. If you're a fan of each company, but I got a feeling that AJ and Nakamura, as long as they go into that healthy, we're really going to see something special here that nobody is going to forget. And I'm definitely going with Nakamura here. Their first match in Japan was amazing, off the charts, insane. They worked really, really good together. That was the thing, too. It was their first time against each other, and they were just so smooth in the ring with each other. And, I'm hoping for, now that they're going to get a second shot in the ring, that we'll get to see some more out of them.
Yeah, that's definitely some wishful thinking there on their part, because you're talking about two of the top wrestlers of the past decade in the pro wrestling business, so that'd be huge. Roy, if listeners want to reach out to you, because you're such a wealth of knowledge and you have so many different things going on, you got a great Facebook group and what have you, if listeners want to reach out to you, what's the best way that they can get some Roy Lucier in their life?
Thank you for that. Okay, so unfortunately, about a month and a half ago, I believe it was, there was an incident on Facebook where I was uploading videos directly onto Facebook, not putting them on YouTube and Daily Motion, then sharing them on there, but uploading them directly onto Facebook. What happened is Facebook came down on me for a video I uploaded 2 years ago and said that it was like a world-class match that happened on Japanese TV in '84, and whose ever ring music it was, Sony now owned it, and they actually deleted my Facebook over it, including my Japanese Wrestling Classics with Roy Lucier page as well, which had 9,000 likes. So I've had to start over and the page is once again Japanese Wrestling Classics with Roy Lucier. It's got like about 300 likes currently, and I've learned my lesson, and I'm not direct uploading and just sharing links from Daily Motion and YouTube. So the best way to ever get a hold of me is to go on Facebook, and there's Japanese Wrestling Classics with Roy Lucier. My last name is spelled Lucier. It's like Lucifer, but no F. And I've got 2 YouTube channels, one for outside of Japan and one for inside of Japan, where I upload. I have a Daily Motion page with nearly 2,000 videos, and I have enough DVDs here to probably upload until 2022.
Wow. See that? That's a huge fan right there. I call him Brother Roy. Roy
right.
Lucier, we appreciate you, brother. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me on. Thank you anytime, dude.
Awesome, Roy. It'll be up by about 11 p.m. Eastern time. There it is. Well, you see that Boston bad boy? He hung up because he didn't want to hear from you.
My eyes were glazing over. Listen, I like Roy, but I'm a little worried. I'm not going to lie.
Listen, his wife is in on it, so it's a
That's
family
even more
affair.
frightening.
It's a family affair.
What is going on?
Get yourself a Michelle Roy Lucier.
Has anyone talked to that woman? Is she blinking her Social Security number, maybe trying to get out?
That's a good question. We'll have to reach out to make sure that she's still living.
Let's do a wellness check.
You know, in Japan, they have those these lifelike dolls now.
Well, again, he that may be his wife. I don't know.
No, I think his wife's a real person.
Some people do that. That's a whole subculture, and that's
his wife
fine.
is a lovely person.
But I'm just, if she's a real person, I am a little worried.
Well, she encourages this.
Well, I'm more worried about the fact that he gets all huffed up on the Red Bull.
Yep.
He comes back to the hotel room, and she says, "No effing way. Are you? No, I'm not.
Play with your wrestlers.
Yeah, go play with."
Get away from
exactly.
me.
So she makes him sleep on that little horrible couch in the hotel room for about an hour, and he's like, "I can't do this. I'm going to go try and steal some breakfast from the wrestling only area."
It said only the wrestlers.
Yeah, and he said,
Roy's up there.
He says, "Yeah, I think I'll wander in there."
Yeah. So a wrestler pulls him aside and says, "Hey, these are 3 no-nos."
Yeah,
does it anyway.
You know what I think the third one he couldn't remember was?
What's that?
Don't try and steal the wrestler's breakfast. That's what I think.
Roy Lucier, you are the man. Listen, Boston Bad Boy.
What?
I know that at this time of the show, you like to do your Boston Bad Boy question of the week, which I can't stand.
I'm questioning my own the reality of my own life right now.
Well, you should. You should. So I'm gonna throw a question at you.
Oh boy.
Huh? How about Duke's question of the week?
I've never allowed a Duke's question.
Well, we're gonna do it.
And I don't know
time.
why you think I would start now.
Well,
because
no.
you're in a whole.
I'm gonna try you on for size.
As if this is technically your Christmas Eve. I know that your WrestleMania is coming, so I will grant you. If you start with this question and halfway through the question, I'm going to cut you off halfway. So just know it going in.
All right. So the WWE announced that it's not a question of if, but when they bring back Hulk Hogan. Oh God! Now, as we all know, Hulk Hogan
is a racist.
Well,
as we all know. Go ahead. No, continue.
Well, he made some disparaging remarks about people of color and used the N-word over and over again in a very disparaging manner.
Right.
So that's the reason why he was taken off of WWE TV. No good for the sponsors, no good for the business when you're carrying on in that manner. Now they're saying they're going to bring him back.
Short memories.
So my question to you is...
This is how Trump got elected. This guy was no different. This guy was no different than he is right now. His whole life, his whole career. Can we remember when Trump was like the punchline of a joke? He was in movies as the punchline of a joke. He was slimy and skeezy back then. But because here in God Bless America, we have no memory, and we all think that, hey, everything's going to be fine, and hey, if it benefits us, why the hell not? And this is the same case with this Hulk Hogan crap. Let it go.
So wait, in America, we like to hear of a comeback story. We forgive. I mean, isn't that the Christian thing to do, to forgive?
You know what the Christian thing to do is? Not use the N-word. That's the Christian thing to do.
Okay.
So let me beat you to the punch there. I don't do it. You don't do it.
Nope.
Nobody I know does it. So this guy, listen, this goes right back to the Daniel Bryan getting potentially killed in the ring.
Stop it.
And that is, the fans think it's okay because the fans want it. And they have, again, no memory. They have no scruples. They're a bunch of lowlifes. And quite frankly, they're a bunch of subhumans.
Well, all right, stop being rude.
No, because that's really what this is about. It's about, well, we think it's cool. We haven't seen the guy for a while, so let's bring it back, and bygones will be bygones. You know who it's not bygones for? People who get called the N-word. That's who it's not bygones for. So if you think your little precious wrestling is more important than that, you're out of your effing mind, and that's it. I'm done because I'm just out of gas right now.
This is Tony Schiavone, and we're desperately out of time on Duke Loves Wrestling.
Thank you to Raj Giri of Wrestling Inc., the #1 wrestling news website in the world. Also to superfan Roy Lucier. You can head over to Facebook, Twitter, type in Duke Loves Wrestling. Let us know what you think of the show.
You know what? Be a fan like Roy, where the worst thing you do is steal a little continental breakfast. Do you know what I mean? We've all done that.
The wrestlers need their breakfast.
We've all snuck in and gotten a little continental breakfast.
But I still like his wife. His wife's all right with me.
But don't be a subhuman.
Oh, okay.
We're going to check in on the wife.
Yeah, we're going to check in on the wife.